We're at Coyo Taco in Miami in South Florida. Cinco de Mayo. It's a big celebration down here, and they're having Coastal Championship Wrestling is having its annual wrestling matches. Who better to have on the show than former Trios champion, two-time for Lucha Underground, Ivelisse. Ivelisse, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Ivelisse, let's right off the bat talk about Lucha Underground. What has this experience been like for you to work with that company and the success you've had there too?
Lucha Underground has been amazing. They've always been very professional. They took care of me when I got injured. They take care of us great when we're filming over there. It's been a pretty amazing journey. Season 4 is coming up June 13th. It premieres.
El Rey Network.
El Rey Network. And it's gonna be awesome. New characters. Me in particular, I'm gonna be more me, no love stories, more kick-ass. So it's gonna be awesome.
And you like that?
Yes.
You gotta have that. I mean, that's the part of wrestling I really enjoy.
I love that there's no love stories.
And it's more of you just going out and being this tough, badass wrestler.
As competitive as possible.
What brings that drive for you? Is it the background? What is some of your background in wrestling and in other sports when you were younger?
Yeah, I've always been in sports since I was like 8. I did cross country. I delved myself into every sport I could. Volleyball, basketball, baseball, everything. I've always been a sports girl, fitness, athletic. So that competitive drive is just second nature. And also, I've always been a very serious, hardworking female, and that's something that I feel is very important to represent, especially as role models. You know, as a female, like it's definitely something that I want. Is a big goal of mine to represent within women's wrestling, and it's something I always want to bring to the table to bring credibility to women's wrestling as much as possible.
This is a good time to be involved in women's wrestling because you see how fans are taking women much more serious as athletes and all. From when you started in your wrestling to where you are now, how have you seen the growth and development where it's not just about how you look, it really is about the athlete that you are?
Yeah, it's definitely been quite the development. It's something that really, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, makes me really happy because I've always been one to always, my focus has always been how hard you work out there, and your work is what defines your value in terms of you know, what you bring to the table. And it's something that really makes me happy. And I know that there's a lot of other women who have also done the same, but they didn't get the chance before because of whatever the reasons, sexism, whatever were the reasons. But most important thing right now is that there's change happening, and it's awesome.
For you, when you started in Puerto Rico, correct?
Yes.
In your wrestling career. How does one get started in wrestling? How did you get started in wrestling?
That was quite the feat. I had no idea how I was going to start when I did decide that at around 15 years old. I didn't know anybody in the business. I didn't have any family in the business. I didn't know whatsoever, but I just said, okay, I gotta start somewhere. So one of my classmates from school had an older brother who was doing the independent scene in Puerto Rico, so I started there. It was my opening. I took it, started meeting more people, learning more and more, where to train, who's who, blah, blah, blah. Just kept going there, and that's where it all started.
How eye-opening was it for you when you first started, just having to do all these different things to get training and ready for it?
Yeah, I knew that it was going to be like incredibly hard and pretty much nearly almost impossible, and it was probably going to take me a long time, but I'm always ready for whatever. I'm the type of person, like, whatever it takes. If I have a goal, whatever it takes.
You wrestled for WWC in Puerto Rico, which is Carlos Colon's?
Yeah,
correct?
I began my TV experience in WWC in Puerto Rico with Carlos Colon. And that's where I started to learn a lot about TV stuff. When I first started learning about TV stuff, about how to start doing promos and the whole hard cam stuff, all that stuff, that's when I first started learning about all that stuff.
What have you taken from that to where you are now, the experiences that you've gone through and all the years that you've wrestled? What was it like back then compared to what it is like now for you wrestling here in the United States, basically? And was it different in front of the fans in Puerto Rico?
In terms of the environment or in terms of me and my mindset?
Environment first. We do the environment first. Just what it was like the fans in Puerto Rico compared to wrestling in front of the fans in the United States.
For a fact, the fans in Puerto Rico, that's actually what makes it really unique out of all the places in the world, actually. Every place has its different things, its little unique things. In Mexico, Japan, there's a completely different way that crowds are in Japan and stuff like that. In Puerto Rico in particular, they are very, very, very animated, very vocal, and they use a lot of instruments to vocalize that as well. They also do that in Mexico.
Vuvuzelas and things like that?
It's very similar to Mexico.
Or something?
Yeah, it's very similar to Mexico. Mexico and Puerto Rico is very similar. I suppose it's just different wordings to express themselves, but it's very similar in that sense. That was a big difference.
What have you enjoyed about your journey, in your wrestling journey? What have you enjoyed most about it and working all these different places that you've worked?
What have I enjoyed the most? I've enjoyed being able to work in different places around the world, learning about different cultures, being able to inspire people regardless of gender, regardless of race, regardless of anything. That to me actually has always been the most rewarding of all things, honestly.
Did you take you worked in a lot of different places. You've worked for FCW, you've worked for Impact Wrestling, you've worked the Indies.
Yeah.
You've worked Shimmer and Shine?
Yes, I'm still in my 20s, and I thankfully had the chance to work in WWE, TNA, now Lucha Underground, AAA.
AAA is another one, right?
Yeah, Shine, Shimmer.
Over England, Japan.
Yeah, countries. England, China. I haven't been to Japan yet.
Okay.
Even though I want to. Mexico, Ecuador, Chile, and I really, really am really grateful that I've had those opportunities.
Because when you're first starting and you're 16 years old, about that age, and you're in Puerto Rico, did you ever realize or fathom that you might be traveling to all these places around the world and people want to see you wrestle?
I guess because I'm so tenacious and ambitious, I could visualize all of that I wanted to attain. It's just, it's always been a matter of when. When will I get there? Because I know I'm not gonna stop until I get my goal. So it's always been, okay, how long is it gonna take me?
And I have to ask you about the hair and the shirt. Because you've always had the red hair, correct? Or for a while you've had the red hair?
Recently, for the last 2 years-ish.
Any reason why?
I love red. I always wanted to go red. I was actually born a strawberry blonde, so reddish, so it's second nature. But yeah, I always wanted to go full-blown red, but I was always kind of afraid to. My mom kind of stuck it in my head from when I was young that if I dyed it any other color than what it was gonna get ruined, and oh my God, and since I'm so attached to my hair, I was always afraid, but I finally went for it, and I love it. It's the best color that I love so far. And the shirt, I was given this shirt at House of Glory.
Hardcore? Or
House
no?
of Glory.
Oh, House of Glory.
Yeah.
The clothesline shirt and all. So does it have any meaning or representation to it?
They were kind enough to gift it to me, and I thought it was pretty cool and it fit me good.
And do you have social media for fans?
Do I have any social media?
Yeah, do you have any Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or things like that for fans?
Yes, I am on Twitter. My official Twitter handle is @RealIvelisse, and my name is Ivelisse because it gets misspelled a lot. And on Instagram, it's @Ivelisse.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.